Assume that what
Did
happened.
you break it off? You did, didn't you?
Don't.
Come on.
Can we do
admit
this
it.
seriously?
What's serious about that, you big daft clown? You've broken your knob off.
When I knocked on the vestry door, Mrs. Casey was on her knees, and the man said he was past her kidneys. He, Mrs. Casey, would be happy to deal with me next. She was very impressed with the hamper. Even the pastor said it was a fine piece. Mrs. Casey said that she can't wait for the spring when her husband is away and she can get her tulips round that organ. See Janet get out her Denise interchangeable needles. Can you make someone look like a hedgehog? Janet, disgraceful.
Couldn't stand being stuck behind that bloody van any longer. I'd rather stop for a fag. Okay, let's go. Next stop, you know, it has to be a cheeky road trip Big Mac. Oh, this is going to be a bit of a sod to pull out of, isn't it? Oh, hell's teeth. You know what? I don't fancy this. We'll spin around and do it from the other side. You might think I'm being overly cautious, but in driving and in many other things, I always prefer to take an extra, 10-20 seconds to be certain than to take a risk, no matter how small the risk is. And look, so much more visibility doing it that way, so much safer. Whereas look at this car here, he's come around that blind corner. Well, he would be blind to me coming out of the parking space. He's coming around there doing 60 as you would. Safety first, my lovely. Always safety first. Better to take an extra 20 seconds than to end up wrapped around whatever that modern heap of maladjusted metal happened to be. Here endeth the lesson. I'm looking forward to a Big Mac. Oh, hello. Breathe in. Cheers, dude. Oh. Bernard has just WhatsApped me. She was in Wakefield over the weekend, fighting the good fight on the doorstep. According to the polls, Labour have got Wakefield in the bag. To be fair, I would vote Labour if Bernard turned up on my doorstep and asked me to. She has such lovely teeth. Is this a little road where there's a random Chinese takeaway? It is, isn't it? I'm kind of obsessed by it. Just here on the left. Village Chippy, fish and chips and Chinese takeaway. I don't know why I'm obsessed with it, but I am. Right, here we go, my lovelies. time for my most enjoyable cheeky road trip lunch. Greetings, sensation seekers. You join me on the motorway as the mighty Shison thunders along at the legal speed limit in the middle lane. How you doing anyway? Hope you're okay. Lunch was lovely. Lovely. People say with the food that you eat, why on earth would you eat at McDonald's? Well, for the same reason as everybody else eats it. It's really very nice. It's not sophisticated, it's not particularly healthy, but it's, as a cheeky treat, once a week, why the hell not? Now, the Range Rover Evoque in front of us does not have the best driver in the world. A bit jerky and erratic. Drifts out of lane and then suddenly jerks back in. Look, over the lines again. Oh. They're probably on their phone or touching themselves inappropriately. Do I need to change lane? Yeah, I think I do. Let's have a look as we go past. See if we can see why they're driving in the way they are. Oh, not quite close enough to see. Have a look. Oh, it's a woman. Not that that is in any way indicative of them not being the best driver in the world. I'm not going there. She's a woman and she's not a good driver, but those two things are not connected. Could just as easily have been a man. In fact, if I was going to go down this road, which lane? This one? Then I think I would be inclined to say, what red light officer? Didn't see a thing. I think I would be inclined to say that whilst men, as a massive, huge, Swansea-sized generalisation, whilst men may arguably generally be perhaps slightly technically more proficient in the driving stakes, I would say that they are also intrinsically more unsafe than women. Because men are idiots. They're more likely to be drunk, they're more likely to show off, they're more likely to be arrogant, they're more likely to lose their temper. When I was a kid, I used to love motorway service stations where the little chef was on the bridge, actually over the motorway. That was like winning the lottery, except the lottery didn't exist then. Because I was born and brought up shortly before the Napoleonic Wars, I really am incredibly old. And if you were at the motorway services, the chances were you were going on a day out or a holiday or something good. Now you can't see this, but I'm having a drink of well, it actually is Diet Coke. It's not McDonald's Cola anymore. Do you remember those days? Yeah, and can I have a Coke please? It's McDonald's Cola, is that okay? Yeah, whatever. Nah, fuck it, I'll have a root beer. What even was a root beer? I never knew. Anyway, thanks to the gift of the automatic gearbox, it's very easy for me to have a drink or pick my nose. I could be doing either and you wouldn't know, would you? Haha. And I wouldn't tell you because I'm sneaky. I'm a sneaky beaky. Captain Sneaky Beaky. The bravest animals in the land are Captain Beaky and his band. We're starting to see the green bits. You can't see them, but I can. And one of these days we shall explore the green bits. In fact, it won't be one of these days, it will be next Sunday on the Project Nigel Meet and Drive to Rover Revival do, which I'm looking forward to very much. And we will be driving over. I say we because I'm going to bring you with me. Of course I am. It wouldn't be the same without you. You've become a massive part of my life and you mean the world to me. Yeah, even you. Yeah, and we will be driving over those green bits. Many of us. Isn't it funny, the things that you remember? When I was learning to drive, which kind of didn't take long because I could sort of already do it. I just had a few lessons to teach me how to pass a test, I suppose. But my driving instructor was a lovely guy called Pete Daniels. I wonder if he's still alive. He was a nice man. And one of his mantras was brake it gently, brake it firmly. And I still say to myself every single time I come to a junction or a roundabout. He was a really good driving instructor because although I wanted to learn how to pass a test, he wanted to teach his students how to genuinely drive in the everyday world. So you had a lesson where you'd be driving at 11 o'clock at night on mad country roads in pitch black, and you'd have a lesson in a multi-storey car park. We had a lesson where he took me across Birmingham city centre in the absolute howling rush hour, and he'd make you check the oil and even change a wheel. That's what the driving test should be about. It shouldn't just be about driving, it should be about living with a vehicle. Omar Sharif's Balti House. I love it. Oh! Oh, why is the mastermind chair outside? Notice the expertise with which he found the bonnet opening switch. This is a man who has no need to view my video, how to open the bonnet of a Rover.
Have you done one like that?
Yeah.
Right.
You've not watched a single one of my videos, have you?
I have. I just don't enjoy them. And the oil is looks like it could probably do with a change.
What, you mean like a trip to the seaside or something?
Yeah, exactly like a trip to the seaside.
Well, we could all use that from time to time. Let's have a look at the oil cap.
Right, now that does smell ever so slightly petrol-y, which we don't really want.
Is that a man who sniffed knickers from a knicker drawer before? We have to ask.
No, any real man sniffs the oil. The oil is to be sniffed.
And okay, this is interesting. And what are we hoping to sniff or not sniff in terms of the oil?
Well, you don't want to be sniffing petrol fumes or carbon particularly. And that does smell a bit petrol-y. And now it looks like the used knickers that you keep buying. Always you've got loads and loads of pipes everywhere. There's always a possibility of something being ever so slightly not as good as it could do be.
Not unlike ourselves.
Speak for yourself.
I often do. I have just referred to this car as she, and I previously referred to this car as he. Now, the car's name is Shison, and it was so named because the she part was the first part of my girlfriend's name, and the son part is the last part of my name. So, is this car male, female, or is it non-gender? What's the correct terminology? Is it gender neutral?
Right.
Non-gender, and we should refer to it as they and them.
Honestly, it can't reproduce, can it? It hasn't actually got either of the preferred organs available necessary to reproduce. So it's not a he or a she. So in a world where everyone's non-gender specific, your car's the only thing that can actually claim to that and not be taken as if it's taking a joke. All right.
If I told you that there were issues with the heating system, could you guess what they might be?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Right, well, the hot air doesn't blow through the vents when you've got the hot air thing turned to hot.
Correct.
Yeah, when you turn the knob for the blowers, it doesn't come on until you go to 3.
Correct.
Right.
This man knows his onions. I think I might know what the issue is, because I was very big and clever and brave, and I put my big boy pants on and I went onto the internet and I spent around 2.5 hours looking at naked ladies, and then I did some research and I found that these things have, just down there if you can see it, they have a little Volvy type fellow, and that Volvy type fellow's job, can you see it there with the green bit on it?
Yeah.
He's just burnt himself. That'll fucking teach him to leave bad reviews on my 75. That little green fellow there, his job is, when he's moved by the doings inside the cabin, to swap between hot air and cold air. And I'm led to believe by the naked ladies on the internet, who are doing terribly rude things to each other in a most entertaining way, that this can become stiff, as indeed did I whilst watching these ladies that I've been mentioning recently. Is I took hold of it firmly and moved it in a manual.
That's not even attached.
Yeah, that's a secondary issue, in that whilst trying to, I assume that what happened.
Break it off. You did, didn't you?
Don't.
Come on.
Can we do
admit
this
it.
seriously?
What's serious about that, you big daft clown? You've broken your knob off.
I drove this back from Liverpool with no warm air.
Well,
My poor little tinkle retreated into the depths of my arsehole. I am letting Captain Mustard, with his legendarily heavy right hoof, loose in the Honourable Shison, with no additional life insurance. Wish me luck. I think I might need it. Look at the look of willful glee on his face.
yeah. I got to do something rather fun now.
And then are you going to give the car a drive?
I want a kebab now.
Oh, I feel I could eat
Fancy a kebab?
Yeah, I could eat
Do you fancy a
kebab.
kebab? Should we go and have a kebab?
Yeah, go on. And this is a bit of a sad moment, my lovelies,
This is a Rover 25.
because
which of course
here
you
we
can-
can see where the
Why
car
is he doing
known
a
as
review on
Project
the Rover
Nigel
25? That's all
has
he
been
seems to have.
abandoned.
That's all he ever talks about. And now he's doing a review on the Rover 25. Well, it's because this one is slightly different.
Here we can see the detritus that has built up since the car was abandoned. Once so loved, and now, well, it's not pretty, is it? Well, he didn't kill me. That has to be a bonus. It's rather pleasant, isn't it, my lovelies? I'm sure that you regular viewers, even if you don't live in this part of the world or visit it regularly, you must be getting quite familiar with some of these roads that I tend to travel on quite a lot. Nice and tight, this bend. Now what I love about driving budget cars, and we're talking the ultimate budget here, aren't we? Sub £500. In front of me we've got something modern, not absolutely sure what it is, something golfish, something of that nature, but it's clearly a modern car, and he's not hanging about. He's trying pretty hard, and yet in this £500, sub £500, 20-year-old car, we're keeping up with him, no problem. And he has been trying. That was 75 we just hit back then. 60, he was 60, not 75. And when you drive these really gorgeous roads in such a beautiful part of the road, the scenery is no less beautiful because you're driving a cheaper car, and the experience of driving, the actual dynamic of the driving on these roads, that's a constant. You can be driving a £500 car or a £5,000 car or a £50,000 car. The sensation is the same. You can get the same sensation for 500 quid that other people pay 50,000 for. Now, what do you think of that? Oh, that's a nice pot in the window of that house. So, it's a Golf. Let's see if we can keep up with Mr. Golf on this uphill, twisty, windy bit. Still a 30 mile an hour zone at the moment, and we go into a 50. Here we go. Oh, you braked a bit early there, sir. Oh, and I've got one of those sporty Skodas up my chuff. One of those properly sporty looking things. It's all black and menacing with big shouty go faster badges. And he's obviously quite keen as well. He looks as if he's got "I want to overtake you" written all over him. And now the Golf has decided to dawdle. Barely doing 55. And the Skoda's coming and looking a bit aggressive. This car's coming, he's not going to be able to overtake here. Now, if he goes to overtake, Should I nip out quickly and overtake first? Here we go, good straight bit. Let's see if he goes for it. And if he does go for it, shall I go after him? Oh no, we've nipped up to... Mr. Golf has nipped up to 60 and Mr. Skoda has backed off a little. Oh, Mr. Skoda's going for it. Boom. Okay, my loves, here we are. We are home. And it's been a really enjoyable day. I really do enjoy these Mondays. Everything about it. Bit of a giggle, bit of a road trip, bit of a different lunch, chatting about cars and videos and all the good times. And here we are at home, and it's been a great day. So thank you for your company, as always. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I can't wait to see you next time. Take care, my loves.